Hey Taurus, how are you? Welcome into your weekly reading. I hope everything is absolutely amazing in your Taurus world. We're going to start off your reading by pulling a couple messages from the Sacred Forest Oracle deck, and then we'll shift on forward to pull some tarot. So with that said and done, let's do some shuffling. And what are we beginning with for my lovely Tauruses for this upcoming week? Playfulness and flexibility. Oh, as well as strength. Okay. So it's a strong, playful week for you where you do need to and will naturally at certain points implement flexibility when it comes to when to get things done, when it comes to how to go about doing so. And I feel like when it comes to regaining that strength and putting what strength you do have in those moments or in that moment to productive use. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is a very angelic kind of week for you where the playfulness doesn't feel heavy. The playfulness isn't meant to feel overwhelming or draining even. It's more so meant to feel light and invigorating. And all the meanwhile, I sense that this is going to feel refreshing. This might even teach you and potentially remind you of the type of people, places, and situations, especially energies, people that you wish to be or should be associated with moving forward. Because it does affect your reality for the better or for the worse. And I sense that you will be reminded naturally with what we were saying. There's certain type of energies and there's certain types of energies and experiences that you will be drawn to, guided to, and desiring moving forward more so because they're saying light and fluffy and leaving you with more moving forward after that interaction or experience than you had before it. Does that make sense? You might even be reminded of the beauty, the importance of certain calming situations or calming experiences, even if the other benefits aren't as obvious in the moment. To continue. And it's naturally a week where you're going to be reminded of the true strength that lies within, even when you fully can't pinpoint it, or you're finding it a bit of a struggle to utilize it in that moment. Or it may feel like things are a little bit heavy in that moment or certain moments throughout the week. And therefore, again, reiterating the importance of these light, playful moments. They're saying even simplistic moments where, say, you're pushed to put in your headphones and do a little jig, a little dance to some music, get a bit of a release, or maybe go on a little bit of an adventure, if I could speak. Stuff like that is going to be very informing and very fulfilling, at this time. Anyways, the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Wands. Okay, so the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Nine of Wands in the upright. Very much speaking upon you being a bit of a burnt out energy throughout the week at certain points, but still having, if you look at the beam of firelight on the cards on the bottom, you still have that beam of passion within you. But is it about utilizing that passion within you in the wrong way when you're feeling burnt out? Or is it about doing what you have to do individually to dig for that inner strength, to replenish it, and therefore feeling like the swap in the other direction, or at least seeing this swap into the reversal position? Bear with me, but I do feel like there are going to be moments where putting this Nine of Wands aside, you do passionately move towards what you deserve, what you want, and what you wish to see successful, and therefore that motivates you even more. But they're saying when this Knight of Wands is in the upright position at certain points throughout the week, that motivation, that drive is very much present within your situation. They're not saying don't utilize it, right, and put it to use all the meanwhile, but they're saying remember that flexibility and playfulness all the meanwhile. When you're able to, at certain points throughout the week, very effectively, efficiently combine the Knight of Wands energy and the playful energy all the meanwhile, as my voice cracks, you will be quite on point. And I sense that whatever it is you're committing to in that moment or those moments will thrive, and you'll see progress and growth because you embody these two very successfully. Anyways, let's move on to more tarot. There's definitely a passionate new beginning of some sort on your mind for the near future. and I do sense that it's closer than you think. But it's going to be very imperative for you this week, very important for you to stay patient or get back to that state of being in the midst of when it comes to the time period between now and that Ace of Wands being sparked, because it's going to happen when it's meant to. The Two of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. There's a focus on a connection that's meant to progress slowly. You may even find that there's a slow moving conversation between you and somebody else. And this is a very comforting conversation that will leave you more informed afterwards, however that looks for you. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is a week where people are seeing you, at least for the most part, embodying this Knight of Pentacles, and at times as well this Knight of Wands energy. And therefore they're feeling quite connected to you. You might be healing them in one way, shape, or form, or fully. Or you might find that they just desire your Taurus energy. Okay? I'm hearing a Taurus energy, if in the right situation at the right time, in the right timing, it can heal everything or heal a lot. Anyways, pulling a couple more. The King of Cups, your emotions will come into play, and that will definitely affect for the better or for the worse your process of manifesting whatever it is you very much so want and need at this time. And I sense that you're being reminded of the possibilities that you hold moving forward when it comes to your individual path, and not to let your emotions, and if you're an empath or partially an empath, not to let other people's emotions that you could be carrying in that moment to affect your ability to see the possibilities be exceeded moving forward. Hopefully that came out right. But either way, even if you are picking up on someone else's emotion or multiple people's emotions in that moment, there is a lot to learn either way. And if you do have an emotion or two or unhealed wound that becomes very relevant throughout the week, very apparent to you, floating to the surface, if you will, don't just push it away or push it back down. Heal from it, acknowledge it, learn from it, maybe remember all the meanwhile, and then we can shift on forward and enjoy, embrace fully more of these playful, passionate moments, all right? Because if we're being honest, these are going to be a lot harder to create and be one with when they do come to be, if you're still needing to go through an immense amount or some important healing all the meanwhile, right? And that's just reality. And that's also part of the process of getting back to your ultimate strength that we know does exist and has built up over time. The number 8 being quite relevant. The number 8. They're saying look up the spiritual meaning. The number 8. You're also being reminded of a certain moment from your past, if not several, where you were truly a phoenix rising from the ashes, and this was an assisted process, absolutely, when it came to one, if not multiple spirit guides, maybe random spirits, and your intuition played into it all the meanwhile. This is going to remind you of the strength that has built up once again over time, but also, yeah, what you're capable of. And the fact that even with one, if not multiple levels of limitation or restriction at this time, it reminds you not to give up, because you didn't give up in the past, right? And if you did for a hot second, you got right back up, or you started to shift on forward once again. You're being reminded of what you're made out of, because it's not a time to give up. It's not a time to give up, Taurus. One right from the middle. I just got a little bit feisty, very determined energy. The Six of Cups. Yeah, a lot of memories from the past to be popping up throughout the week. And it's going to differ from case to case as to how that looks. But it's essential because, again, we need to remind you what you're made out of, what you've been through, and how what's at hand and what you're meant to surpass and overcome is very, actually minimal in comparison to what you've been through, because I sense your path has been very much all over the place being drawn to this reading. But they're saying all the meanwhile that plays into your innate ability to be flexible and to flow with how things are meant to proceed and change. But to wrap up your beautiful, strong reading, the Page of Cups, I'm hearing an emotional reset. In some way, shape, or form, Taurus, You're going to learn this week or be reminded you deserve and need an emotional reset, and you'll feel 10 times stronger, more powerful, and capable moving forward to again exceed those possibilities that are very much present for you. And putting in the hard work through it all. You may even find that certain levels of hard work and effort put towards what is important and maybe even necessary for you assists with that emotional reset all the meanwhile. And there may be a bit of a focus, if not a full focus, at a certain point throughout the week on a new, hardworking, fulfilling, rewarding beginning for you on the horizon that will leave you feeling like a bit of a fish out of water, but one an experience that is very much important for your soul growth and your path all the meanwhile. Wow, that was a mouthful, but it's a week, my friend, where you're gaining a lot in a multitude of directions, okay? Coming from a multitude of directions, but one of which is an immense amount of attention, respect, and other kinds of rewards throughout the week. It's an important week where you're reminded of the strength again that lies within, the playfulness that should be coming to be at certain points, the flexibility all the meanwhile. It's an important week for you, to say the very least. All right? So this was truly helpful. I'm sending you so much love and light, Taurus. Go enjoy your week, and I'll see you next time.